guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I'm showing you my top drugstore foundations for oily skin, and I have very oily skin. I also have sensitive skin and also have acne prone skin. So my skin, there's a lot of things for me to have a look at with a foundation to decide if I like it or if I don't, and these foundations are so good. I absolutely love them. The majority of them are under £10. One of them is just over £10. I think it's like £12.99. You can also get, I believe, all of them in the US and also in the UK, and they're super affordable. They're so good. They work amazing for oily skin, and like I mentioned, I do have super oily skin, so I really did put these to the test. I've tried them out with different products, and these ones have been the top ones that I've been loving, and I've been using these loads and loads, and some of these I've loved for the last couple of years. So if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and also make sure to hit the bell icon just so you're notified every time I upload a new video. So with these foundations, I was just going to do a top 5. However, I did find an extra one that I loved, and I was like, I do need to include it in here because I'm not one of those people that will miss something out just because I want to make it a round number. I decided I was going to incorporate it in this video as well, just so you can see the top 6 foundations that I absolutely love for my oily skin. And like with all foundations, everyone has completely different skin, so some things that work for me might not necessarily work for you, but then some things that work for you might not necessarily work for me. I've seen a lot of reviews on products and foundations and things like that for oily skin, and some of them just haven't worked out for me, but it's worked out for other people. So these are the ones that I love. These are my holy grail ones, and these ones at the moment are going to be the ones that I'll always tell to you guys to definitely go ahead and get, because they are super affordable and they work really well for my skin. So the first foundation is an oldie but a goodie, and they've reformulated it over the last couple of years. I think this has been out for since before I started YouTube, probably about 10 years or probably longer than that. And this is the Revlon Colorstay, and this one is a combination to oily skin one, and this is what it looks like. This is one of the shades that I use. I do have this one, and I also have a slightly lighter one. I did give the lighter one to my sister just because I don't really reach for this all the time. It's just because I tend to go for a lighter coverage foundation at the moment, and this one is pretty much full coverage. So this is a really good dupe for the Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation. I think it's about £12.99 here in the UK, but you can always get it on offer, and then it's also available in the US as well. And this one is 300, which is gold and beige. The only annoying thing about these foundations is that the undertones tend to be a little bit more on the pink or neutral side, and if you do fake tan, it might not match perfectly for you, but it is a really good colour, and I really do like this. It stays on my skin pretty much all day. Sometimes it does come off a little bit after about 10 hours around here, but this says that it's 24 hours. If you don't have super oily skin like I do, I can see that it would last 24 hours, but with my oily skin that is super oily, it does actually last for probably about 10 to 12 hours, and then I do look like I need to reapply it. It also has 20 shades, which is pretty good because I do have some very light ones and then some very dark ones. This also has a very nice flawless look. It is very lightweight on the skin. It's not to the point where you can't feel it on like a light coverage foundation, but it does feel very lightweight for a full coverage foundation, and I just think it's so good. I really do like this. I've been purchasing it for the last probably about 5 years on and off, and I know that people do like the original version of this. They do have the combination oily, which I have. They also have the one for normal skin, which isn't as matte as this one, but apparently that one stays on the skin all day as well, and I like this. I feel like it's really good, and this one is actually the most expensive one that I'm going to be featuring in the video. The rest of them are actually under £10, but this one's a really good one. It's an oldie, it's a goodie, and if you do want full coverage, this is a great foundation for you to try. The next foundation I have is the L'Oreal True Match foundation, and I have been loving this for the last, I'd say, about a year. I have tried this on and off for the last about 3-4 years. I did do a first impression on this years and years ago when they did the original formula on my channel, but this is a new formula. It also has hyaluronic acid in it, and I love this foundation. Now I do need to touch up after probably about 8 hours of me wearing this. I can wear this all day at work, but then I will just need to touch up on a couple of different areas if I am going out. So for instance, on the side of my face, or maybe on the side of my nose where I get some redness. But this, I do really like the coverage of this because it's a nice natural coverage. So it's like a light medium buildable coverage foundation. It looks like your skin but better. The undertones are really good. They have neutral, warm and cool undertones. I believe that they have about 40 shades of this, so I do actually have 4 shades myself. I have 1N, which is when I don't have any self tan on. I have 2W, 3W, which is this one, and I also have 4W. The ones I mainly use are the 2 and the 3W, so this one is 3W, and I really do like the undertones. I love the scent of it. It doesn't have a very strong fragrance. This, I believe, is about £10. You can get it in the US and also the UK, and this is always on offer as well. And with the added hyaluronic acid, I do feel like my skin is looking so much better. So it does say on here that after 2 weeks your skin looks more smoother and radiant, and that that is definitely something that I've noticed with this foundation. My skin just looks so good after I've been wearing it, and I love the way that it looks. The colour match is amazing, the coverage is really, really nice and natural, and it is very easy buildable. But if you do like full coverage foundations, this isn't going to be the thing for you, because it's not full coverage. It looks like your skin but better. And I know that people that have dry, normal and oily skin all love this foundation, and the amount of shades that they have very light shades and then very deep shades. This also has SPF 17 in there as well, so if you do put some sun lotion on before you put foundation on, this is also going to give you a little bit more coverage as well, so that's an added bonus on here. But I also like the new packaging as well, because with the old packaging I don't think they had a pump, and I think this is just so nice and sleek on here. But this I've repurchased so many times over the last year, and this is one of my favourites, one of my go-tos, and I am obsessed. The next two foundations that I have are both from the same brand, but I decided to just pop them in the same bit. So this is the Ordinary Colours foundation. I have the Serum foundation and the Coverage foundation, and this is what they look like. So they do come in exactly the same packaging. You do also get the pump on here as well. So I did do first impressions on this, and I waited quite a long time to test them out, just because I didn't know if they would work on my oily skin, because I'm one of those people where before this quarantine I like to have full coverage foundation. I liked it to look matte, just so my oils didn't peek through, and I've realised that my taste in foundation has changed a lot since then. So I'm liking very light coverage foundations. I'm also liking very light tints on my face as well, and I'm also wearing a tinted moisturiser at the moment. And if you had asked me about 4 months ago if I'd ever go for a light coverage tinted moisturiser, I'd say no, because I used to love my full coverage. So at the moment I am really liking light coverages, and this is a really good thing for me, because one of them is a light buildable coverage, the other one is a full coverage foundation. So the Serum foundation, I do have two shades in this. I have 2.1Y and 2.0YG, so I do have two different shades in both of these foundations. So with the Serum foundation, this one is more of a light buildable coverage, so it does look very sheer light when you first put it on. You can build it up to be sort of like a light medium coverage. It looks like your skin but better. It is so pretty on the skin. This lasted me all day. It didn't come off on any areas. It looked perfect after I'd been wearing it for over 8 hours, and it just looks so good on the skin. It didn't make me look oily or anything like that. It didn't accentuate my pores after I used a pore filling primer. That's definitely something that you have to bear in mind when you do have oily skin. A lot of the time you will have quite big pores just because of how oily the skin is. I have very large pores around here and then also on the sides of my nose because of how oily my skin is, but this looks so nice. It looks so good on the skin. You will need to use a pore filling primer for both of these foundations. The way that they blend on the skin is perfect. It's just so seamless. You don't need to do a lot of blending. You can choose which type of coverage that you like. So with this foundation, it will come out very, very watery, so you do have to put it on the back of your hand, and it will probably go pretty much everywhere if you don't keep your hands straight. But like I mentioned, it goes very seamlessly on the skin, and it looks like your skin but better. It blends out amazingly, and it is easily buildable as well. And it also feels like you're not wearing anything on the skin. When I was wearing this, it made it feel like I was wearing a moisturiser on my skin, and that was it. And it just looked so good, and it looked really nice and healthy on the skin. And the other one is the coverage foundation. This one is the high coverage version of the Serum foundation. So this one is going to give you a matte finish. So if you're one of those people that likes to have matte finishes, you like to have full coverage, this is the foundation for you, because this one, you can tell that you're wearing foundation when you're wearing it just because of how full coverage it actually is. You only need a tiny amount of this and you will get full coverage straight away. It's easily buildable. It's very, very matte on the skin, but it's not to the point where it makes your skin look like it's very dry. It looks like that you are wearing foundation. It looks like that it is giving you very nice coverage, but it still looks like your skin is perfect when you wear it. So this one, it doesn't last as long on me as the Serum foundation, but this one does last a good 7 to 8 hours on my skin, and it doesn't make me look oily at all. It blends out amazingly just like the Serum foundation, and both of these foundations do also contain SPF 15. They do come in about 20 different shades, which is good because they have very light ones to very deep ones, then some in between, and also like the pump that you get on here as well. It's just so easy to put on. But I love these foundations. They do retail for I think under £6. The next foundation I have is the Primark Double Coverage Matte Foundation, and this is what it looks like. So I heard before I tried this out in my first impression that everyone was saying that Primark foundations are amazing, and I had never tried them out just because I do have very sensitive skin, so pretty much everything breaks me out. But I decided, you know what, this looks like it's going to be a dupe of the Estee Lauder Double Wear. So I picked this up. This was £5. They don't have a super amount of shades. I think they only have about 6 shades in the collection. So this one is Toffee, and this is one of the middle shades. This one is really good for when I'm self-tanned. And this one is oil-free. You get a matte finish. It also has SPF 15 in it, which is really good if you do want to add some protection in there as well. So this is a really good colour for me. It's one of those where you will probably have to buy about 2 or 3 different shades to sort of mix together. That's what I had to do. I had to mix the 2 together. So I did have this one, and then I had, I think it was Nude Beige, which was a lot lighter, just so I could get the colour that I wanted. But I do like the undertones of this. I do have cool, neutral and warm undertones with this foundation, which I think is really good. And this, honestly, when I tested this out in my first impression, I realised straight away that this was a dupe for the Estee Lauder Double Wear. If you do want to try out the Double Wear foundation, but you don't want to spend the 30 odd pounds that it is, I'd say grab this. This is such a good foundation. The way that it looks on the skin is exactly the same as the Estee Lauder, so you do get a matte finish, but it doesn't look to the point where it's too matte and your skin looks very dry on your skin. This one looks quite nice on the skin, and it makes it look like that you have flawless skin and it's flawless coverage. This is easily buildable as well, but to be honest, you probably wouldn't want to build this up because you do get almost full coverage as soon as you put this on one layer. A little goes a very long way, just like with the original Double Wear foundation. This actually lasts a good 7 to 8 hours on my oily skin. It doesn't make me look oily throughout the day. My oils don't break through on my forehead, and then it doesn't break away by my nose. This is one of my go-tos if I do want a full coverage foundation. It won't last you as long as the Estee Lauder Double Wear or the Marc Jacobs Remarkable foundation. They will not move for anything, but this will still last you a really good 7 to 8 hours. I haven't tested this out to see if it's waterproof just like the Estee Lauder one, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was waterproof because it does stay on your skin really well and it doesn't transfer or anything like that. You also get a 32 millilitres or just over 1 fluid ounce in here, which is really good. It's just a little bit more than a normal drugstore foundation, but I do like the way that this looks. The only annoying thing is you don't get a pump with this. And I tried to put on my MAC pumps that I do on my Estee Lauder Double Wear, and it doesn't work. So this is one that you do have to shake out if you want to use the foundation. But to be honest, it's £5. I'm not going to complain because it's super affordable. This didn't break me out. It didn't irritate my sensitive skin. So if you do have sensitive skin and you do want full coverage, this is a really good foundation for you. And the last foundation I have is another oldie but a goodie. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation. This one is for normal to oily skin. They also do one for dry to normal skin as well. And this one is the one that I absolutely love. So this one I did purchase in the US when I went, I think, long time ago. When I think it must have been about 3 or 4 years ago I first tried this out. I did pick up probably about 4 bottles of this. This one has not been opened yet, so this one is a brand new one. The shade that I am is 128 Warm Nude. The thing that I like about this foundation is the fact that they have about 40 or 50 different shades in the US, and it's only about $5 in Walmart when I picked it up. You can also get this in the UK, but they do have a lot less shades, and I think it's about £5 to £6, and it is in a different packaging, but it is exactly the same formula. So this one I really like. I actually tested this out when I went to Florida, and I tested it with the humidity. I tested it at a water park and things like that, and this lasted really well. So the only other foundation I took to Florida with me was the Estee Lauder Double Wear, because that one is sweat proof. It is absolutely amazing, and this one I did put it to the test, and this lasted a pretty long time. So this one's not waterproof, but it will do really well if you're sweating and with the humidity. This lasted me a good, I'd say, 7 to 8 hours before it started breaking apart on the sides of my face. But to be honest, I did test this out when I went to Florida, where the humidity is really high, and over here in the UK it's not really that humid unless it gets to summer and we get a very hot temperature for about a week. Then it'll be humid for a week, and then it will be completely normal after then. This foundation works throughout the whole of the year. I use this in winter as well. I love the way that it looks on the skin. It's a medium coverage foundation. It is looking quite similar to the Estee Lauder Double Wear, so it is medium coverage. You can easily build it up. It doesn't look cakey on the skin either. It does look quite nice and natural, so it doesn't look like that you're not wearing anything on the skin, but it just makes it look like that your skin is perfect, just like a doll skin. So this, I do really like the way that it looks. I love the coverage of this. The only thing is it doesn't have SPF, but that doesn't really bother me, to be honest, because I do put SPF on before I put my foundations on. I do like the glass bottle as well. I do wish that it did have a pump. I know that in the UK you do have the squeezy bottle, which I think is so much easier, but I really like the foundation. I think that it's so good with the shade range, with the way that it lasts on the skin, with the way that it looks on the skin as well, and the price point is so affordable as well. So those are my top drugstore foundations for oily skin, and as you guys can see, there are quite a few different types of coverage. You get the light medium coverages, you have the natural looks, then you also have the full coverages and the medium coverages and the easily buildable ones. So these I absolutely love. I've tested these out for the last couple of years. I've tested so many foundations out, and these are the ones that I will always go to. These are the ones that I will always recommend. But my favourite drugstore foundation overall has got to be the L'Oreal True Match foundation. This is so nice on the skin. It looks very natural. It keeps my oils at bay. It looks so good, easily buildable, and I just think it looks so stunning on the skin. And with all these foundations, I do really like them. There's pretty much nothing about them that I don't like. I think they're really good for different coverages and what type of things that you do like on the skin. So these are my top ones and I absolutely love them. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If there's any foundations that you love for your oily skin or any other skin type, then just comment down below to let me know. And make sure that you give this video a very big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in my next video, guys. Bye!